Donald Trump and his stance on Greenland. So right now what we're learning as breaking news comes in is Trump's big U-turn on Greenland. Why are we calling it a U-turn? Because he's held talks with NATO chief, and post those talks he's come out to make some very crucial remarks wherein he says military not needed on Greenland, issue can be handled through judgment. Formed framework for future deal. Trump comes out to suspend tariffs on EU over Greenland. This is what we are given to understand after that speech yesterday at the World Economic Forum in Davos. He has had and held talks with the NATO chief, and post that we see him making a big U-turn where he has said that military might not be needed in the Greenland matter and that the issue can be handled through judgment. More importantly, he's also come out to suspend tariffs on the EU nations over Greenland. That is the big breaking news that we're bringing to you at this given point. Now, what exactly went down in those talks is very crucial to understand at this given point of time, to understand why this sudden change in stance, even if not a change but a slight modification in the way he's approaching the Greenland matter. For that, let's quickly first listen in to what's been said by Trump after those talks that he held with the NATO chief.
Well, we'll see what happens. The military's not on the table. I don't think it'll be necessary. I really don't. I think people are going to use better judgment. They'll use their best judgment, and I don't think that will not be necessary.
So that was the very comment that's been made by Donald Trump. Right now we have Pranay Upadhyay joining us on the broadcast with more details and context on this. Pranay, a very good morning to you. We've been listening and keeping a very close watch on all the back and forth that's gone on over the Greenland matter. Now, after the talks with the NATO, we see Trump coming out to say that military might not be needed in the entire situation. How and what are we making of this very statement at this given point of time? Again, keeping in mind that just hours before that, he had given that entire speech with regards to Greenland as well, as to how he will keep no stone unturned to attain what the US wants.
Good morning, Shreya. And if you see, President Donald Trump did not back down from the insistence that he want Greenland. He had his own justifications, and in fact, he is still trying to convince the world that he want Greenland not only for the national security of the United States, but also for the security of the entire Western Hemisphere. And in fact, he wanted it to justify by every means. But as far as his stance, or maybe not mentioning the use of force or the military means, this is not for the first time. He said that he is kind of ruling out the military use, but this is, you can call it as a political or a verbal maneuvering by President Donald Trump. But in this case, he did back down from his previous stance that he could put tariffs or use tariffs against Europe because he was standing on the soil of Europe, and he was trying to convince the European Union, he was trying to convince his NATO allies that United States is the only country which could protect Greenland. He was trying to justify that there is an imminent threat from Russia and China to the entire region, and therefore it is United States which need to have Greenland to ensure the safety and security of the entire Western Hemisphere, the NATO allies, and of the United States. So you see, after having a meeting with Mark Rutte, he said that there is going to be a long-term negotiation, that long-term solution. There is going to be a very positive movement on Greenland, and there is going to be a solution on Greenland, and the territory of Greenland will be handed over to the United States. Now we have to see, because neither he outlined any time frame for these negotiations, nor did the NATO spokesperson or NATO leadership give out any timeline for any negotiation and the outcome of these negotiations between United States and NATO partners or the European Union or the government of Denmark about the change of territory or handing over of territory. So we really do not know. We have seen that, how President Donald Trump negotiates. He starts with an extreme position, and then he try and yield some concession and show that, this is how he has won a negotiation. This is how he has got, what he wanted. We have to see that, whether Denmark yields the territory of Greenland or not, and what is the back channel between these two nations and the NATO as an alliance. How do they form a solution? And this is yet to be worked out. But clearly, President Donald Trump, while standing on the European soil in Switzerland in Davos, while addressing the World Economic Forum, he was trying to convince that he is having an argument, he is having a justification for having Greenland as U.S. territory, and this is required. And I would like to conclude by saying that President, Vladimir Putin also commented on all these things, and he said that Russia does not have any interest in Greenland.
Right, Pranay. So, Pranay, the next question that comes into the particular ambit right now is what next then for Trump? And and that's something you also mentioned, that he's still insistent on having control over Greenland. So, if not using military, and at the same time, he has even yielded to take out the tariffs from the equation, then what is it? Is he closer to striking a deal? Will the European nations the EU countries be yielding, or more importantly, will Denmark be yielding, or settling down with a negotiating deal, settling down on the negotiating table with Donald Trump at this given point of time when we speak of Greenland?
I think we have to see that how these negotiations proceed, if there is a negotiation. Because if you see the Denmark's position, or the people of Greenland have said that Greenland is not for sale. Denmark has said that there cannot be any negotiation on yielding the territory or handing over the territory of Greenland to the United States. But on the other side, President Donald Trump and the NATO leadership, Mark Rutte, has indicated that there could be a solution. We can find out a solution. We can have a negotiation. So these are two contrasting and contradicting positions. Right now we see, and there are serious threats as far as the NATO partnership is concerned, and the transatlantic cooperation and transatlantic partnership is concerned, because this is for the first time a NATO ally is eyeing the territory of another NATO member country and insisting that they need to have this territory. President Donald Trump might be, giving the argument of the national security of the United States or the Western Hemisphere or the Western nations. On the other side, the experts are saying that it's the rare earth minerals. It's basically the rich, minerals underneath the icy surface of Greenland, which is at stake, and that is the thing which President Donald Trump and his associates, his partners, and the United States, the deep state is looking at.
Right.
So we really do not know